There isn't too much big news in the world of gaming as of late, so I guess I'm gonna talk about retro games and stuff that was popular like 20 plus years ago or what have you. Today I'm gonna be talking about Pokemon Red and Blue briefly, whether or not it's Game Boy's greatest RPG ever. Honestly, when it comes down to Game Boy is considered to be ancient because I believe the original Game Boy handheld console came out back in 1989, and that's when I believe it was black and white before Game Boy Color came out in 98. And I believe Pokemon Red and Blue came out in 1996, and that was before the anime was released in 97, at least in America, I believe. And it turns out that Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, and Green all together managed to reach over 46 million copies sold worldwide. And that is astounding, especially considering the fact that, like, at that time, there was no RPGs that was like the original Pokemon. And I do feel like that Pokemon is it's something that exceeded my expectations in terms of popularity when I was a kid. I'll admit, when I was a kid, I got into it, especially considering the fact that there was really nothing like that on television or in gaming. And when you look at Pokemon Red and you look at Pokemon Blue, the journey is exciting. You have three starter Pokemon to choose from unless you're playing Yellow, and then you capture as many Pokemon as you can. You get towards the end, you defeat the Elite Four, and I believe you cross paths with Giovanni at some point, defeat him, and try to capture legendary Pokemon, all that stuff. It was an exciting adventure, and the makers of the game definitely did Pokemon Red and Blue justice by excluding Ash Ketchum and giving you the option to create your own character, because a lot of people disliked Ash Ketchum. They liked Pikachu more than they did him. And you look at the series and you look at how Ash Ketchum got some of his badges. He really didn't deserve it, but he got it anyways because he was the main character. But whatever. There was a lot of games that came out after Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, and Green. We got generations of Pokemon game. We got Gold and Silver. We got Ruby and Sapphire. We got Diamond and Pearl. We got Pokemon Sun and Moon. Many generations of Pokemon came afterwards, and everybody has their own respective opinion on which generation is the best. A lot of people think Gen 1 is the best considering how successful it was on a commercial level. And don't get me wrong, Pokemon's still very popular today with Pokemon Go and all that stuff, but I don't know, those who are younger and who grew up during the time when it first came out, it just doesn't feel quite the same. And I honestly feel that without Pokemon Red and Blue, the Game Boy, the original Game Boy line, like Game Boy Black and White and Game Boy Color and all that, would not have had the level of success that it did, even though it did have best-selling games that was featured on Game Boy, such as Super Mario Land and the Donkey Kong game and the Kirby game and all that stuff. I feel like, Pokemon has had more success than all of those. So when it comes down to handheld Nintendo game systems, Pokemon has dominated for like the past 2 decades or so, and it all started with Pokemon Red and Blue. But to say that Red and Blue are among the greatest RPGs of the 90s or what have you is something that people would consider absurd, even though it managed to sell more than the likes of Chrono Trigger and Secret of Mana and Final Fantasy VII, all those RPGs, but they were different kind of RPGs. This was just a normal role-playing RPG where you just had to capture creatures and use it to fight other creatures and all that stuff. It was something that a lot of people really gravitated to back in the late 90s and early teens, and I feel like those games still hold up well today, even though the graphics are not quite as good. Nintendo managed to take, I guess, 8-bit like graphics and make it work during a time period where 8-bit gaming started to become obsolete. So when it comes down to Pokemon Red and Blue, I feel like those two games are immensely popular. They were immensely popular back during its time, and they're both considered to be legendary. And without a doubt, they're considered to be among the greatest RPGs of the 90s in relation to Game Boy games.